like this concept that I've literally fucking come up with. Like, I don't know if this is actually a concept or not, but this is literally like what I've solidified a cold call down to, like in my brain the past few weeks. And it's literally the most simple thing ever, and it helps you just navigate. It literally just helps you navigate a situation, like any situation in a cold call, really. I mean, obviously there's some situations in a cold call which don't apply to this, but this is literally all a cold call is, yeah. So we've got express the offer, yeah. So that is, whatever the value is, yeah. So we've either got businesses available ready for an appointment, who are a good fit for your services, or we're going in with we work on a pure performance model where we only take payment for X result, yeah. That's the value. That's us expressing the offer, yeah. So that's goal number one. Number one is we need to express the offer, yeah. So what is the offer? Whatever the value is, and whatever you feel like is going to be relevant to the person on the other end of the phone, or whatever's going to be most likely to put them in. So first of all is expressing the offer, because at the end of the day, if they're interested in the offer, then they're going to be a good fit for our service. Number two is getting them to express interest in the offer. Now, this second part here is the most tricky, and it's where most people get thrown off, because it has to be done by the prospect. So these first two stages, this express the offer and book the call is done by yourself, but step number two is done by the prospect, yeah. And step number two is the hardest one, because obviously you have to get the prospect to do it, right? And that is expressing interest in the offer. Now, this links to all concepts of sales, yeah. When you're selling someone, you can't convince someone of an idea, yeah. You can only get them to convince themselves. That's why you don't make statements. You ask questions which lead them to their own conclusions, yeah. And this is like down the end of selling. Like, this is when you're like actually closing a deal and making an offer and all that sort of stuff. But even just from a cold call perspective, yeah, you want to get them to sort of there's still the same principles apply, yeah. So you're trying to get them to come to their own conclusion, and therefore you're able to get to the destination, which is obviously booking a call in this scenario. So step number two, the hardest step of them all, because you need the prospect to agree and be interested in the offer. So how would you do that? Yeah. So there's three scenarios when you express the offer. Yeah. Number one is they just flat out tell you they're not interested. Number two is that or maybe four options, is that they are interested, but with some reservations. Or number three is that they're interested. Number four might be they just take you down a rabbit hole, which is not even relevant at all. And then you end up 6 minutes down the line on the phone with them, and you don't even know what the fuck has just happened. Yeah. But this is why this is really important, right? Because you need to link back to the offer. So whenever someone is, sort of, you express the offer and then they start taking you like down here and then like over there, and like, what do you do with your leads, and like, how do you get your leads, and like all this sort of stuff. Yeah. You need to obviously address what they're saying, but you need to bring it back to the offer. Yeah. So think of it like a straight line. You got three goals. Yeah. The only goal that you need from them is to express interest in the offer. Then you can book the call. Yeah. So let's say, for example, you're on a call with someone and they're like, yeah, how do you get your leads? Like, are you sending emails? Like, what's your open rate on emails? Like, yeah, like, yeah, I don't know if this would be a good fit for us. And like all this sort of stuff. And it's like, okay, and then bringing it back to the main important point is, okay, but would you be interested in an approach where you only pay for qualified appointments with your ideal niche who have open vacancies? And just bring it back to the main question. Then they might say, oh, well, probably not because of this. So that's like potentially interested, but has reservations. So you need to address the reservation and understand what that actual reservation is. Sometimes the objection isn't worth overcoming. For example, they might say to you, oh, I'm a one-man band, I have no money. Okay, probably not worth trying to overcome that objection and book them in, because it's just going to deteriorate later down the process. But let's say it's something like, oh, I don't really have a good view of lead generators. But to be honest with you, that offer is interesting, but I've been stung so many times that I just don't know what I can believe anymore. Bang. That's someone who is potentially interested, but has reservations around, around it, right? Then you address the reservations, yeah? Okay, well, we're not like other lead generators. We're actually building in the relationships with these businesses on your behalf, and then just booking you in for an appointment, a guaranteed appointment. Oh, well, I don't want you to sort of ruin my reputation of like a local recruiter and stuff like that. Okay, that's absolutely fine. We can just use our own sub brands and then lay you up for the appointment as the recommended recruiter in their niche. Okay, maybe that would be something I'm interested in. Bang, now you've got them to express interest in the offer. Now you can book in the call. Does that make sense?